What's going on? How is everybody doing today? Welcome in to 76ers Now. I am Jake Chipper. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Loaded show to get to, plenty of news and notes as we approach NBA free agency on Monday. First, we finally got an update on Joel Embiid's knee surgery, some rumors on Guerschon Yabusele's upcoming free agency. Will he stay? Will he go? Andre Drummond appears to be returning to the team. And some updates on the Sixers Summer League. We got their full schedule for both the Utah, Salt Lake City Summer League, as well as the Las Vegas Summer League, and what the roster could look like for those games. Before we dive into all of that, of course, the NBA draft did wrap up earlier this week. For those of you who joined us for our live show, shout out to y'all. You're some real ones. If you like what Philly did in the NBA draft, of course, landing VJ Edgecombe at number 3 overall and Janai Broome at number 35 overall, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. If you don't like what they did, that's fine. Go down in the comments section, explain your reasoning, get involved here on today's show. Let's get started with Joel Embiid. So, in case you missed it, you've been out of the loop. Joel Embiid underwent an arthroscopic knee surgery all the way back on April 10th and was supposed to get reevaluated in 6 weeks. Obviously, that did not happen. We have heard nothing since that Embiid surgery, but finally, amidst all the craziness of the NBA draft and the Sixers getting 3rd overall pick and drafting VJ Edgecombe, Daryl Morey actually gave an update on Embiid when he was speaking to the media, saying this: he's very engaged, attacking his rehab, doing everything he can to be out there. He had a meeting with the surgeon this week. All things, to use a NASA term, are nominal. Things are going well and expected, and we expect that to continue. Things are on track to be ready right around training camp. Now, training camp for the Sixers will get started in September. So that is around a target date when Embiid should be ready to go. They play a couple games in Abu Dhabi against the Knicks in the preseason, so it's pushed up a little bit for them, a little sooner than normal, but still around that September timeframe. Look, this is a very typical update from the Sixers. Of course, it comes way later than it was supposed to be, more than 2 months following the date of the surgery, when it was supposed to be 6 weeks after. But as Sixers fans, it's good to hear a positive update, of course, hear that he's doing well, things are going on track. You never want to hear that there's been a setback or anything like that. But time and time again, we hear Embiid's doing good, the recovery's going well, and then things happen, and it's not quite as good as you would have thought. I think we're all used to at this point, judging it based off how he looks when the season does begin. So I appreciate the update, Daryl Morey, that we finally got something, but kind of hard to trust what this coaching staff, front office, and what these medical professionals with Philadelphia have to say, because a lot of the times they're saying the same thing, and then Embiid gets on the court and he doesn't quite look how he should. Still, though, glad we got something, hopefully on track to be ready for the start of the season. Give me your best guess. Will Joel Embiid be ready for the season opener? Are you buying what Daryl Morey is selling, that Embiid is progressing well? Give me an R if you think he'll be ready for that season opener, or an I if you think he'll still be injured and he will not be ready to start the season. That would be a disaster. Let's go on to Gershon Yabusele's free agency. Of course, a very important topic for the Sixers as they hope to retain the French big man. Here was a report coming from Philly Sixers Galaxy, who said multiple playoff teams, specifically from the Western Conference, planning to pursue Gershon Yabusele in free agency. A source with knowledge of the situation said, Yabusele, I'm told, has loved playing in Philly, that is clear, and there's mutual interest in a reunion, but the Sixers have expressed little confidence in their ability to re-sign him. It's an unfortunate reality for Philadelphia. Their best chance to re-signing Gershon was if other teams weren't really all that interested in his services, but seems like some Western Conference teams are, and it's to be expected. He was very good for Philadelphia last season, coming back over to the NBA after being out of the league for multiple seasons. But with the Sixers cap situation, having to re-sign Quentin Grimes, that should be the number one priority. And with these new apron rules and them going to be hard capped if they re-sign Gershon, and him demanding a salary really larger than what Philadelphia is going to be able to give to him, it's just going to be really difficult for them to be able to retain him. It sucks. I would have loved to have Yabusele back on this roster. I would have loved to see him play some meaningful games for this team because he was really the Sixers' most consistent player from start to finish last year outside of Tyrese Maxey. A shame that they bring him in and he's supposed to, be this winning kind of player and the team just really fell apart. So unfortunate. and he's probably going to be gone. But good for him. I hope he cashes in. Hope he gets a bag. It's a great story. Unfortunately, one that doesn't look like it's going to be continuing here in Philadelphia. But predict it for me. There's still a chance, albeit a small chance, that he does return to Philadelphia. Will Guerschon be a 76er next season? Give me a simple Y for yes or an N for no. If you think he won't be on Philadelphia, go ahead and tell me what team you think he might sign with. I'm predicting he signs with the San Antonio Spurs, reunites with Victor Wembanyama. Still plenty more to get to on today's show, but be sure to get your hands on a VJ Edgecombe jersey. He's officially announced he'll be wearing number 77. Not going to lie, I wish he was able to wear his regular number 7 that he wore in college. That still belongs to Kyle Lowry as of right now. It could change. We'll see. But regardless, I think he's going to make whatever number he ends up look very good. You can get your own VJ Edgecombe jersey at chatsports.com/V-J. There's a little dash there. Be sure to pay attention to that. Again, chatsports.com/V-J. I'll have that link in the comments section and description of today's show. So you can just click on it. It'll take you to Fanatics, and you can get your own VJ Edgecombe jersey now. Moving to a player who does appear to be heading back to the Sixers heading into next season. That is Andre Drummond. Michael Scotto breaking the news on Friday that Sixers center Andre Drummond will exercise his $5 million player option for next season. League sources telling HoopSite. During his career, Drummond has been an All-NBA selection, went back in 2016, two-time All-Star, four-time rebounding champion. An expected move for Drummond to pick up his option. I don't think a team would have paid him $5 million based off his play and his injuries from last season, so no surprise to me that he is picking up this option. Look, I love Drummond, especially for what he did in his first stint with the 76ers back a couple of years ago before he was traded to the Nets in the James Harden deal. And, you know, a good rebounder, of course, a player who did become a fan favorite at one point in time, but it was just a rough year for him this past season in Philadelphia, whether he was injured, dealt with a weird toe injury that seemed to linger the entire season, and even when he was out there, just didn't look like himself and just simply wasn't very effective. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers look to try to move him and his contract, that $5 million. As I mentioned, the Sixers need all the money they can get this offseason, and Morey said he wants to get younger, get more dynamic, more athletic. Of course, you have Embiid, you have Adembona. They drafted Janai Broom, who's going to be able to play some center for this team. At least that's the idea with drafting him. I don't think they would prefer to have that $5 million of Drummond on the roster and under contract. I think they find a way to trade him this offseason, maybe bring in someone else a little bit younger with a different skill set at that backup center spot. We know how important backup center is, of course, for Philadelphia. I just don't think Drummond is the answer to that question heading into next season. A player who I'm very disappointed isn't going to be back, at least as of right now. Always a chance that the Sixers can re-sign Jared Butler on a different deal, but pretty surprising to me that they're declining his team option. It's only about $2.3 million. And look, when they traded for Jared Butler, it was really just to get off the Reggie Jackson contract and get a little bit younger there at the trade deadline. But in the back half of the year, I thought Jared Butler played some pretty decent basketball. You know, you're not looking at Jared Butler and asking him to be this tremendous player. I thought what he did was decent enough to be at least deserving of picking up that small contract. Because again, the Sixers don't have a lot of money. You need guys that are cheap that can play a little bit. And I thought Jared Butler was cheap at $2.3 million, still a young player, and I thought he could play a little bit. Unfortunate he won't be back. This to me signals even more that Kyle Lowry definitely will be returning as his team's depth point guard, and maybe even Lonnie Walker, a good sign for him. Maybe his team option will get picked up, but not a fan of the Sixers declining Jared Butler's team option. Rounding out today's show with the latest news on the Summer League. Of course, Summer League schedules have now been released, and the Sixers will once again be playing in the Salt Lake City Summer League before they play in the Las Vegas Summer League, where every team plays. So that Salt Lake City Summer League schedule, they'll open on July 5th. So getting started very, very shortly here against the Utah Jazz at 9 p.m. That game, of course, against Ace Bailey and the Utah Jazz. NBA knows what they're doing, having the Sixers open up their Summer League against Ace Bailey. Then they'll take on the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder on the 7th, round out Salt Lake City against the Memphis Grizzlies on July 8th. Then they'll get to Vegas to start the Las Vegas Summer League, where they'll play 4 games, and then, of course, you go into a playoff tournament style. They'll open they'll open the Las Vegas Summer League against the San Antonio Spurs, so a marquee matchup there against Dylan Harper. Then they face Concanoople and the Charlotte Hornets, then Trey Johnson and the Washington Wizards, and then Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. So it should be some exciting Sixers Summer League basketball with some of these teams they're going to be going up against. NBA obviously wants a lot of these top rookies playing against each other. VJ Edgecombe going against the rest of the top guys. Should be fun, should be exciting. I think the Sixers can put together a pretty solid Summer League roster. We'll see if Jared McCain does end up playing in the Summer League. He did mention it's a possibility, which is good news for his recovery from his knee surgery back in December. VJ Edgecombe's obviously going to play. I expect Justin Edwards to play, and Justin Edwards said he will play in Summer League. Just how much remains to be seen. Hunter Salas, a great UDFA pickup, already signed a two-way deal for the Sixers. Of course, Janai Broom, the second-round pick, is going to play in Summer League. Adem Bona said he expects to play in Summer League, and I expect him to play a good amount as well. Some more UDFA guys, Igor Milicic, Aizan Almansa for the Sixers. Alex Reese spent a good amount of time in the G League on a two-way deal for Philadelphia this past year, and then another UDFA pickup in St. Thomas. So Sixers, if they do have Jared McCain, Adem Bona, Justin Edwards out there, could put together a pretty exciting Summer League roster. Of course, very excited to see VJ Edgecombe get out there and play his first minutes of NBA basketball with Philadelphia. We also got this update right before starting today's show. Sixers have added another player to their Summer League roster. That is VCU's Jack Clark, versatile 6'10" wing, averaged 9 points, about 7 rebounds, 2 assists, the 60.6 true shooting percentage for the VCU Rams this season, stepping up in March to earn A10 tournament MVP honors. Also played for my Clemson Tigers back in the 2023-2024 season. So you know he's got that dog in him. But clearly the Sixers adding another big wing, a position they've really been trying to address with a lot of their UDFA signings. So another player that should be pretty exciting to watch come Summer League. All right, that'll do it for today's show. A lot to get to, but look, as we approach free agency, obviously just had the draft. It's a very, very busy time of the offseason, and you don't want to miss a thing. We got you covered right here on the show. All the latest news, rumors, analysis. We might even try to go live for a couple of these Summer League games. Who knows? Got to lock us in. Hit that sub button. Turn on your notifications, and we'll catch you next time here on 76ers Now.